Well, it's been almost 24 hours that the match has ended. I need to really take some time before I make this video. It's really, really tough. In my pre-match video before this Arsenal match, I was very excited. I was expecting Chelsea to get something out of this match, and I felt that we were in the right place at the right time. Arsenal has almost lost the Premier League to Liverpool, so they will really concentrate on Real Madrid in the Champions League because they have a good set of team, but they have a number of players who are injured. Players like Havertz, Saka, quite a few of them, and so they would not like to go ahead and play really up the tempo because they don't want to do that. Mainly because they don't want injuries and they also want to get points. So they knew that if they play normal, they don't need a lot of issues to do it. Chelsea, on the other hand, we need the points. We are fourth, though in the top five will make it to the Champions League next season. We had a very good chance of taking the game to them. And even if we ever lost to them by taking the game to them, I wouldn't have minded. But the problem really happens here is we are just sitting back passing, side passing, and obviously this has Maresca's fault written all over it. I mean, you can say the players. What will the players do? Maresca, in a couple of weeks ago, said if they don't do as I've told them, like if Enzo doesn't back pass, if the goalkeeper doesn't back pass, I sit them on the bench. He said it in an interview. If he said that in a press conference, the players are going to oblige to it. So if you don't understand that and you think the players are bad, the players are not bad. Maresca wants them to play in a style which he thinks suits Chelsea, but it's not helping Chelsea to get the points. At the end of the day, I wouldn't have minded if we play 90 minutes of defensive football, but at the end of the day, we get a point or 3 points. It would have been great. I wouldn't mind. I mean, see, the defensive style of football has been very key to Chelsea. Carlo Ancelotti's those 2 seasons were the only time when Chelsea really played sexy football. And this last October, November, and early December was one other time when we played really good football, attacking, exciting football. If you look at Jose Mourinho, Antonio Conte's even, I mean, we did not really play, excellent, exuberant football. Right? It was very defensive football. Jose Mourinho's first time, a very defensive side of football. It's not like we're going out there with fire against like what Manchester United used to do under Sir Alex, scoring 3, 4, 5, 6 goals. That only happened under Carlo Ancelotti, if you remember that 2 seasons, especially that season when Maluda and Didier Drogba were scoring goals for fun. It was fun goaling scoring, including Nicola Anelka. That was the only time. So I can get it. I have seen that. So I can get the fact that we are going ahead and playing in such a way, defensive, I don't care. We to get the points, but you can't get the points. One shot on goal, you cannot blame injuries. Right? In a big club, there will be injuries. There will be injuries too. Look at what Man City is going through this season. Players like Rodri, KDB, they were injured. You had Liverpool, I guess, last season or a couple of seasons ago. They had quite a few of their top players getting injured. Look at Arsenal right now. Quite a few of their players are injured. Every team, Real Madrid is also facing some injuries right now as we speak. It happens with every team, but that should not be, that should not be an excuse. You have players at Chelsea who are going to get injured and for a long period of time. Reece James, Fofana, Lavia. And right now, Manueke has not been playing for quite some time. Jackson has been injured for almost 2, 3 months. It will happen. Even players who don't get injured, Palmer is injured. Enzo could be injured tomorrow. Caicedo could be injured the day after. I mean, they have not been injured, so they could be injured. But you cannot say just because these players are injured, that's the reason we cannot come up with a game. We still have players like Fofana who has come back. We have players like Reece James who looks good in terms of injury wise. He doesn't look like he's going to get injured. Hopefully, he's been called up by Tuchel for the English national squad. Lavia is also kind of fit. He should have played more tomorrow yesterday. He should have played more. He played for the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes or so. That was not good enough. I mean, so these will be part and parcel of any big team. You will have injuries. You cannot say, I have this top three players of mine are injured. I have Nkunku, I have Sancho, they don't know how to kick a ball. These were the guys who were doing it for you last October, November. Now they don't. I mean, there has to be some problem. Except Caicedo, except maybe Cucurella. Cucurella is playing well for the last 1 year, and it is thanks to, I think, Phil Neville. Because he's the one who pushed him, saying that he is the missing link in the Spanish national squad and which won the European Championships last summer. So he has been playing well all throughout. It has nothing to do with Maresca. But let's say Caicedo, Cucurella, and maybe one or two players I can't even think of at this moment. Except them, all of them are not playing well. Malo Guzzo, even last season was playing well under Pochettino. This season is out of it. Renato Viega joined 6 months ago. He could have played centre back, but he's playing for Juventus. Well, Felix could have played for Chelsea, but he's playing somewhere else. So things like that. And Nkunku, who is wanted by clubs like Bayern Munich, and he might be leaving in the summer, and he might go to a big club like Bayern Munich or PSG. At Chelsea, he cannot kick a ball. I mean, then if all these things we put together, and then you have to understand, then what is the fault? If these guys who are wanted by big clubs who play so well, suddenly they cannot kick a ball at Chelsea, there has to be something wrong, right? Think rationally. Then all the fingers will be pointing at the manager, the coach, the head coach, Maresca. He is at fault. He has not been able to get the best out of them. He needs to inspire the players to get the best, play for Chelsea, play for the badge. This club is not a random club. We are not Brighton. We are not a mid-table club. I was talked about it about a couple of months ago. We are Chelsea. You have to play really, really well. The one shot at goal doesn't make it. You're playing. I mean, yesterday the possession was, we had more possession than Arsenal. Some people will say, look at the stats. The stats lie at times. We were just passing to each other in our own half. Why does Arsenal need to, when they are 1-0 up, why they do need to come out and play? They don't need injuries. They need to just let this 90 minutes go. They get the 3 points. They can think about Real Madrid. As Maresca totally needs to have that mindset, which he doesn't. I mean, look at the kind of managers we had from Mourinho to Ancelotti to Tuchel to, before that Conte. Like the mindset. And this guy's mindset, he's joking around with the Arsenal player who said, try harder. I mean, it's so embarrassing. And he's laughing at it. I mean, obviously he was embarrassed, but he had to just get rid of that situation. So he just smiled and walked away. He needs to understand where he is at. And this is where I think the owners are at fault. I understand, you look at Brighton and think, Brighton has done a great job in attracting young players. Very good. Yeah, I think Brighton has done a great job. But we don't want to be like Brighton in terms of winning trophies. They might attract, and I just heard today, they've attracted a new player from Japan or South Korea. He's just 18 years old. Amazing. This is amazing stuff from Brighton. I really like the way they scout. That is something new to do, and that is the reason why I think Chelsea has signed up 2 3 really young players. Quenda, I think, from Sporting from Portugal, and a couple of others from Brazil, which is great thing. That is something you need to learn from Brighton, which we have learned, and you're doing it great. I see the owners, the directors have used that and is working towards it. But the other part where we are not where we are not Brighton is we win trophies. We have been winning big trophies. Brighton doesn't. Brighton is more of a feeder club. No disrespect, but that is how it is. I mean, we really need to think about it, the owners, that this is not how we. I mean, if Roman was here, if Roman Abramovich was still the Chelsea owner, he will take Maresca out like a fly from a soup, from food. You have a fly in your food, you just take him out in the fly and just throw him away. And that's how it should be. We have 3 weeks now without any Chelsea football. Maresca needs to just go away, maybe to Italy, or maybe go back to his guru, his guy who taught him the game for 3 4 days. Just concentrate. And what he needs to do, not just being a Chelsea manager, but as in his own life as a manager. I mean, if tomorrow he gets sacked, he needs to find a job, right? Maybe not next season, maybe the season after, like Graham Potter. He got a job after 18 months or 24 months because he was getting paid by Chelsea. Right. He wants to have a career at coaching, right? Chelsea should not be his last job. But how he does wants to coach? He needs to go back and think about it. This is not how you coach a team like Chelsea. He's taking it too easy. I feel that he is just too easy. He has a 5-year contract, I think. So for him, it doesn't make, it doesn't really matter. If he gets sacked, he will get a good amount of money. And if he doesn't get sacked, he can just do his thing. And maybe next season with more players. And do you guys, those of you who support Maresca, do you guys think if he cannot get the best out of Sacho, Nkunku, and all the players we have right now, do you think these new 17, 18, 19-year-old boys who have hardly played few matches for those clubs in Brazil or maybe Portugal or somewhere else, they are going to they're going to make it happen under Maresca unless Maresca changes stuff? I mean, he has players like Palmer at his bench or in the dressing room, and look at how Palmer is playing. You can say he's off form. It's just that the game has been taken, sucked out of Chelsea. We had a very good going forward attacking lineup till November, mid December, and Maresca sucked out the confidence out of Chelsea at this moment. And so for the last 3 months, these guys who are playing so well and can play really well are confused and don't know how to kick a ball. Do I kick a ball right there? What will Maresca think? Or what is next going to happen? They just stopped trying. The confidence is gone. I mean, this is what happens when you keep on changing up and down or whatever. Maybe he needed to change. He had two teams, A team and B team, and they were getting us results. But the very moment in end of December, he started saying we are not in the title race. So something happened, but this cannot be accepted as Chelsea. As a Chelsea fan, cannot accept this. The owners had to get a better manager. We cannot go for a championship manager. We need somebody who is experienced. And I know Vincent Company, who came promoted with Burnley and right now is with Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich is at the Champions League quarterfinals. They are at the top of the Bundesliga, but that's Bayern Munich. Bundesliga is not. I mean, it is a decent league, but it's not the Premier League, right? And they do well. They have a good squad somehow. I mean, just because it has worked, there might not work, and it doesn't really somehow work. The voodoo maybe against Chelsea. And this Maresca thing has to go. Either he has to leave, or he has 3 weeks. He has to change something and get those results. We got like what 9 matches, of which we have um, Liverpool, Manchester United, and Forest. All three of teams at home at Stamford Bridge, and I think we have a couple of matches, including Newcastle, and we also have Spurs at home next. But we got Newcastle away from home, and the way Newcastle is playing, the way Forest is playing, I don't think they're going to drop a lot of points. Right? Villa is preoccupied with the Champions League. They're also in the quarterfinals in the Champions League, so they might not think much about this. Maybe they will. They will also might not drop a lot of points, but they might. But it will be really tough because we have got Man City, who are in the fifth position, and we got Brighton, who also might not drop a lot of points. You never know. Brighton is playing well, and Newcastle is there, and Forest. I thought Forest is third. Great going by them. I thought that they will drop some points and they will be out of the top five, and that way Chelsea and Man City will be moving up. But the way we are playing right now, it looks really, really tough. I think we have Fulham as well, will be a London derby. Again, Fulham is not an easy team to beat. I think Maresca really needs to do something with these players in the next 2.5, 3 weeks that we don't have any club football. Do something and get things, because I don't think we are going to get much points from here on for the top five. This is really, really bad situation, as worse as what Frank Lampard's second season 3 seasons back. And there's no way of defending Maresca. He needed to do much more. He needed to get the best out of the players. He needed to inspire them in such a way that we go out there, at least we give it a try. I mean, had we tried, had we went ahead and looked like the intent was there that we can go and win the match, or at least get some shots at the goal, play some attacking football. We have Enzo, the World Cup winner. We have some really good players in our team, and we still cannot get anything. Then I could have understood, right? We tried at least, right? Here we are not even trying. We're just passing to each other. expecting, okay, we'll find a, some gap somewhere and we'll just kick the ball over there and then there's something will happen. That is really, really bad at Chelsea. I London. What you say? Rome doesn't wasn't built in a day. Trust me, this is not Rome. This is Chelsea. This is not going to work out. I said previously about 2 months back when I made a video on Maresca. Unless he changes something really drastically, we are not doing it with Maresca. He needs to be sacked. He needs to be absolutely sacked. Bye, guys.